Hello again, everybody. I was thinking to myself that what I need to do is make a little kind of prediction before before I start out this time. What I have to say basically is that I have no way of knowing what's going to come out of the shoe, whether it's a simulated shoe or not, is neither here nor there. This is a very accurate, very fair, very honest and decent simulation. With the right number of cards and with an algorithm which never repeats, duplicates cards. I mean, obviously, yes, there are 8 aces of spades and there are 10, there are 8 tens of hearts and so on, but by duplication I mean it will never deal wrongly, it will never deal inaccurately. It draws from a collection of 52 times 4 cards. In other words, 52 cards per deck, 8 decks in the shoe, so that's 416. And out of that 416, no card which has been discarded, has been already dealt, is ever dealt again. So no duplicates, other than the duplicates that exist within an 8 deck shoe, where there's sort of 8 of everything. So the one thing that I can say with a high degree of confidence is that I am more likely to win than to lose. That doesn't mean to say that I won't have to work for my winnings. Sometimes I'm going to have to dig deep, and that's just how it is. Now we're at 51 second. That's a bitch, isn't it? Double that for the tie. You double after a tie up to 100 as the previous bet value, and so that's going to be 51, 3, 4. That worked out luckily, didn't it? So we got our 175 and we go back to the min. Yes, I'm always much more likely to win than to lose, and I just wish I could get through to people that progressive betting is the only way that you can beat games of negative expectation, and there are no positive expectation or neutral expectation games in the casino. So, you need a plan, but you also need a lot of money behind it. What was that? Was that a repeat? I better make it a repeat. Okay, 51 second. 2-3 third. 5-3 drop. 5-3 it is. 2-3. Oh, 5-6. It's unlucky. 11-12. Oh, long grass already. Wow, third bet. Okay, so now we're at 2.5, 1.5, and dropping. Ay, 3, 1.5. 3.5, 1.5. Boy, oh boy. Okay, so that was a nice one. 3.5, 1.5. So that's 2.5, 1.5. Damn. 4-3. Oh dear. 7-6, which I'm not happy about actually. 7-6, that's what I've been dealt. 7-6. Oh Jesus Christ, look at that. But this happens, so this game is accurate, it's fair, it's a pain in the arse, but anyway. 7-6. So that's 13-6. 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. I'm just struggling here. 13, 13, 13, so drop. Finally, 10-6. That was pretty. 4-5. Is that a double down? I don't think so. No, it's not. Oh dear, that's not good. 4-5. 9-10. That would have been nice, wouldn't it? Alright, so finally, we don't make much. We're in 19,000 there, and we've come out with 1,625. So, you know, if you want to be hard-nosed about it and to say, well, that's ridiculous, nobody can bet that way, nobody could play that way, I can only come back at you with the sensible, logical, mathematically accurate response that if you don't bet progressively, you will lose. If you bet randomly, you will lose. If you bet flat, you will lose. If you bet progressively, you may go into a very deep hole before you get out of trouble. But if you do it with the kind of restraints, controls that I've built into pattern betting, you have a very good chance of coming out of any situation that you're pushed into by elements that are beyond your control, because the cards that come out of the shoe are randomly dealt. And you know, you just saw some ridiculous successes on the dealer's side, you know, 21 over my 20, constantly kicking my ass. And we're back now to a minimum bet. And you could also say, yeah, well, you know, you just bet 10,000, you can't bet 25 at the same table. Doesn't make any difference, folks. You know, shuffles, things like that, they mean nothing. All that matters is the ebb and the flow, the patterns of wins and losses. And I just wish I could get that across. And I wish I could persuade a significant number of people to recognize that doing what they do, going to the casinos with an inadequate amount of money, whether it's 5 or 10 or 50 or $100,000, and expecting to ride through the sort of volatility that you see in all these games, is ridiculous. And we've watched these professionals like Vegas Matt and Mr. Handpay and Brandon O'Brien and so on, not Cody Burnett because he's raving bloody loony, but the guys who actually play like real people, and they have huge amounts of money available to them and they keep getting their asses kicked. And you have to say to yourself, is it possible that they're doing what they're told? You know, it just seems so strange that people with their experience and their resources are betting badly, stupidly, suicidally. It just doesn't make any sense, does it? Anyway, 1, 2, third. Just made it. Back to the men. Double for the loss. 1, 2, third again. 3, 2, drop. 4, 2. 5, 2. That was nice. 3, 2, because we got 2 back there. 5, 4. Well, that worked out. 5, 4, we got 8 back, so we're back to the, and we're $2 ahead. But the point is, you know, we hit a shitty patch and we came out of it. And that's That's what you have to do. It's the only way to beat these games. Okay, that looked like a real mess. I think that's going to be 2, 3, third. Back to the minimum. +1 for the win. +51 second. 2, 3 third. Oh boy, that didn't go so well this time, did it? 2, 3, so that's 8, 6 drop. 8, 6, so we just made 3, so it's 5, 6. 11, 12, we're back in the long grass, second. That might work. You know, and it's just so weird, you know, I mean, the feedback that comes to me is sort of like, you know, oh, I just, no, there's no answer to it. All I can say to you, very few people who are watching these demos, just pay attention, look at this very simple strategy, and then play it yourself. I mean, the Wizard sim is free. It is brilliant. You can only bet one hand, but you should only bet one hand anyway, because there's multiple betting that these guys do online. It's just insane. Unless they're trying to sort of mitigate a bad deck, and there's no indication that they're doing that. You know, so this is really terrific. Just do it, and you will learn that this is the way to go. So that was a good one. And we go back to the min, and now we're 3,000 ahead. And where are we? 12 minutes, not too bad. Bugger! Wasn't very big bucks though, was it? Double for the tie. Well, that didn't work. 1, 2. That did. Back to the min. And just remember, back to the minimum every time. You separate these skirmishes, these battles, these challenges. Separate them. You keep them in watertight compartments. Begin with your minimum bet, play through to the turnaround, and then start over. A new battle. A new contest. What's that? That's a double for the tie. And that's a repeat. Just made that. Okay, good. You know, and the idea that random betting can prevail against random outcomes, it just doesn't make sense. It's just mad. And yeah, people do get away with it. I mean, you can watch these guys online. They'll have winning streaks that are crazy. But the only time they win is when they win more bets than they lose. You know, it's really that simple. That's a repeat. And that's a double doon. Okay, so we lost that one. We're at 3,500 ahead at the end of the first shoe, so let's celebrate that. And on we go. Where was I? I lost a double down there, didn't I? So I guess it's 2, 3 third. Does that sound fair? That's all right then. Back to the min. And remember, shuffles don't mean a damn thing. So, you know, just carry on with the appropriate bet. When the new shoe is ready, just carry straight on, as if there had been no interruption. Yeah, it's funny. There was a famous newspaper columnist who had to stop his column during the Second World War because of the shortage of newsprint and so on. What was his name? Cassandra, William somebody or other, but his pen name was Cassandra. And so he just went dark throughout the war, and then after the war his first column said, "As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted." Brilliant. Okay, so we just do that again. Hit, stand, lose. Okay, so that's like that's 3-2 drop. 3-2 it is. 1-1-2. Oh boy. Hoping for better there. 5-6. Oh dear, that's rude. 5-6 it is. That's better. Thank you, wizard. Damn. Alright, so that's 1-2 second. Yeah, if people would only look at these oh, I screwed that up. If they'd only look at these demos, pay attention and try to use the methods, you know, they'd what was that? Is that, do we go to 125 now? Oh god, I just got to stop talking and I can't, can I? Repeat it. Okay, I'm assuming, no, that's wrong, isn't it? Because we were already at $4,000, so I think I must have skipped a 1-2 or something. Well, I'm happy now, aren't I? Yeah, you got to use a certain amount of nous. You know, I mean, you need to stick with the strategy when the screws are being tightened, but otherwise, just you know, go with your gut to a certain extent, at least as far as bet values are concerned. Follow the rules, but rounding up is optional. Increasing after an opening win, that's optional. They're just a load of things that you can adapt to your own way of playing. But don't play these games with a shoestring budget. It's just madness. It's, you know, you might as well set your money on fire or flush it down the toilet. Throw it out the window. I think we're probably at 1-2 again. I'll take that. Back to the min. +1. +1. That's a repeat. Just made it. Back to the min. Stand. Don't think that's going to work. Oh, it did work. Okay. It was a big 25, wasn't it? And obviously, if you can, then your opening bet should be lower, because you'll find me talking a lot about treadwater bets. The low value bets don't mean a damn thing. You only make money when you get under pressure. You get a threat, and that's where you make your bucks. Gotta say, that could work. +1. Double that for the tie. Oh, look at that. The luck's swung my way right now, hasn't it? We're now at plus max, I think, 5 units. Alright, we'll repeat that. That's good. Back to the min. Where are we? We're at 19 minutes and 5,300 ahead. I think that's okay. We can live with that, don't you think? That was lucky. I think I'm on a winning streak again, but I'm not sure. No, I've got to repeat that, I think. Okay, back to the min. Slow progress right now, but of course we make the big money when we hit the shit, so to speak. I hope nobody's offended by my language. I try to keep myself under control, but you listen to some of these guys on YouTube. My God, talk about potty mouths. Was that 1, 2? Oh, I think we just have to do that again. That's about it. 3, 4, third probably, but I'm not sure. Enough. Okay. Can't beat that. Or that. Now we're on 1, 2, third. 3, 2, drop. Double down. That did not work. 5, 2, because we just lost 2, so the double down. 5, 2. 5, 2 it is. 7, 4. Oh! So 7, 4, that gives us it, because we got 8 back, so we're happy. Back to the min. Another double down. Another buck. 51 second. Double it for the tie. 52. Am I on a roll again? No, I think I better go back to the min. I don't find out until the end when I'm doing the analysis, and I go, oh bloody hell, wasted opportunity there. But you know, mistakes are just part of what happens in a casino. You know, I mean, 51 second. 51, 51, 51 repeat. Alright, back to the min. Going to be running out of cards soon. 1, 2 second. That's his real 1, 2. When I said 1, 2 before, I meant, you know, sort of 25 to 50. And now we're at 1, 2, third. Double that down. Will you look at that? You know, and there's absolutely nothing I can do about people who look at these demos and say, well, that's not real. That could never happen. You know, I mean, anything that you see in blackjack, you watch those guys on YouTube, they're playing at real tables, the cards are coming out of real shoes, and you look sometimes at the things that come at them and go, what? You know, that's the game. That's why it's so popular. It's because it's got lots of whats. It's how it is. And what do? We fairly modest win this time, 6,550, and I think we had 20,000 at risk at one point. That was our lowest, and so 6,000 over 20. That's 30+% return on risk. And I won't know about action and so on until I run this through the mill. But I'm just going to keep on putting these up because I enjoy playing them anyway, and there's no restriction from YouTube on how many of these things I can put on the channel. And the more there are, the less easy it is for people to come back at me with this nonsense about, well, it's not like the real thing, or, you know, you're manipulating, you know, you're getting too much luck, you're blah, 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 whatever. You know, it's difficult dealing with thick-headed people who won't see sense But then I also have to deal with people who are not actually expressing their own opinion. They're expressing an opinion which they have been told or paid to express. Liars for hire, you might say, sort of like the most famous one of them all, may he not rest in peace, Rush Limbaugh. You know, just lied, and then of course we've got the orange turd doing the same thing. You know, it's crazy. I mean, truth just doesn't matter anymore, and how that arsehole could call his bloody thing Truth Social is just, it's like a middle finger to the world, really, isn't it? Anyway, enough of that. Next time. Okay then, so if you've been with me for more than one of these blackjack demos, this will be familiar territory. This time there was a negative gross AV. That means the actual value of the outcomes that were dealt out. That's any win is a +1, any loss is a -1. So if you win a double down, it just counts as a single win, and if you get a natural, it counts as a single win, etc., etc. The net AV is if you count each win and each loss according to how it actually came out, so that a loss double down is -2, a loss split is -2, and so on. A natural is +1.5. And when you do that, which gives you the net value, then you've got a plus in favor of the player, so a slight player edge. So the dealer edge of 3.5% was flipped by the good bets, the lucky bets, the ones that matter, the naturals and the blah 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 blah. You know, that flipped everything from -3.5 to +3.2. It's a tight race in terms of between random betting and pattern betting, because it's the positive, the slight player edge gives the random better the chance, at least, of making some money. So let's just bash the recalc a few times. Oopsie. Notice the action in column G for random betting, which is always hugely higher than for pattern betting. Made a little bit of money there. Made more money than pattern betting there, but look at the total action. Not nice. You know, I mean, it's very hard for a random bettor to make money, unless, and there's a really nasty one, unless he actually manages to win more bets than he loses. And this is something that it's become a sort of crusade thing for me, because there is so much disinformation, so much absolute rubbish that's put out, particularly on YouTube in these gambling channels, you know, where every last one of them, they take pot shots at progressive betting, and they always go back to the martingale, which is, you know, sort of lose 1, double it, lose 2, double it, lose 4, double it, blah blah. And it's just so silly to bet that way, but that is what the casinos want us to believe is the up and the down of progressive betting. And quite clearly it's a lie. It's that simple. We'll go over to the martingale, or my version of the martingale, in a minute. Just a couple of things. Have a look at the win and loss pattern graphic below the main chart, and you can see that there was a lot of nasty stuff coming at us in the first shoe and a bit. Was not good at all, and then we started to get better cards. And that's the way it goes, you know. I mean, it's pretty much a coin toss. All these games are a coin toss. The way they get you is with the volatile, the bad stretches, the mean streaks, as I like to call them. You'll see that, let's just go back up there. Column 1 which is the first 21 bets, -3. Column 2, -3. Column 3, -2. The first shoe had a house advantage of nearly 10%. Column 4, +7 for us. Column 5, +3 for the player. Column 6, +2. And shoe 2, I've done a bad thing here. I haven't adjusted that. I'm not perfect, all right? Let's have a look. Let's just get this right. It's not 64, I don't think. I think it's a little lower than that. 66 is what it should be. But shoe 2 was plus, no doubt about it. So I'll just correct that. Bear with me. You get to see the inner workings of a very solid strategy. Okay, so shoe 2 was definitely in our favour. Here you'll see it says we ended up with 6,725. It's a tiny difference. It's a difference of $175. I'm not going to take the 6,725 because I must have made a mistake, because the Wiz counted it as 6,550 at the end, and the Wiz is never wrong, let's face it. So that's how that goes. So I put built in an adjustment there. Low bets, again, 102 low bets. They were nearly 90% of all bets. They did pretty well, 3,225 to the good. High bets, there were just 14 of those, or 12%. They made almost the same amount, 3,325, and those two things add together to 6,550. Up here you see 51 wins and 55 losses, but that's gross. 604 on my side, 604 average win, 441 average loss, so it's a win over loss of 137%. Alexa, stop. And she's quite right to tell me to drink water. I'm bad today. Yeah, so 137% is solid. I try for about 125%, but of course it doesn't matter what I do. It comes out positive because of the nature of the strategy. The whole point is to win more when you win than you lose when you lose, and also to win back losses in fewer bets than it took you to get into deep doo-doo in the first place. So that's what we strive for. And I'm just going to take a drink. Excuse me. That was not me swallowing, that was my chair. I'll get a new one eventually. Let's go over to Dumbledown, and here you see again positive, a very solid performance. Not as much as pattern betting, but a good solid 32, nearly 33% hold of action. Thing that I'm always interested to point out to you folks is, take away the +1 after an opening win, and the win drops down to 2,413. Put back that plus in there, and you've got an extra what, $1,400 won. And it's infuriating that these people, and Greg from Casino Matchmaker is the latest one, they do not play a +1. They say, oh yeah, well, you win back your but your losses +1 unit profit, and is it worth it? Well, if you just add 1 unit after each win, if you open with a win in a new series after you've dropped back down to 25, you get that first one. You see the pluses here? There's a plus. So, and it turned out to be worth more than that, because there was a double over there, obviously. And then add one, and then add one. When you lose that, if you lose, or as soon as you lose a winning streak, you just repeat it. And then if you lose that, you just keep on just betting the value of that. So here, you end up with a situation where it's a decent win, but you're making those single units all the way through, instead of this nonsense that they keep peddling. And I just don't get it. I mean, why are people setting themselves up on YouTube as if they're friends of the player, and then they're putting out this crap? And they've all done it. Well, no, Mr. Handpay hasn't done it, I don't think, but Vegas Matt has. Greg at Casino Matchmaker has. There's a few other people who've said, oh yeah, let's give this a go. Oh, and then there's that lady who's replaced her grand piano in her mansion with a very fancy fake blackjack table, and she plays blackjack every day for huge amounts of money, which of course are not real money then, you know. And I'm not knocking the idea of not real money, that's fine. But when you go completely bonkers and sort of like the minimum bet is 25,000 and the buy-in is 1 million and that sort of thing, and it's not real money, well, that's just offensive, it's insulting, unintelligent, silly. Over here, we did the highs and lows. Naturals were 5.2%, which is a little better than usual. They paid us an extra 975, which is much appreciated. It's only 15%. Splits and double downs, 16 winners, 10 losses. They paid us a very nice extra 2,900, which is 44% of the total win. And then down here is a rather larger representation of the win and loss pattern, and you can see lots and lots of red and lots of green, and it all balances out in the end. So there you have it. That's the latest story, and you know, as I always say, it's up to you. You know, your choice, your money, your choice. Take it or leave it. I'm not selling anything. All I'm trying to do is to get people to think. Don't listen to these fairground, carnival, barkers, shills, whatever the hell you want to call them. Just think. And if you think, then you won't drink. You know, you won't neck free booze in the casino. You won't go to the tables with too little money to take you through a bad spell. I mean, look at these bad spells here. You know, these two, they'd wipe out a chicken feed bankroll, what was the other word? What's that? Oh, I forget. You know, sort of tin pot, whatever. But I mean, these dips here, these red nasties here, would kill your average player if he's betting randomly, if he's betting stupidly, and if he doesn't have a decent bankroll behind him. Shoestring will strangle you every time. So, you know, that's it. See you next time.